Qualification match number 2 begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Right away on the Red Alliance, we see one robot move toward their net zone, one focus on specimens. 10-4-15 on the Red Alliance. That's Warbots. Incredibly quick cleanup on the red samples on those spike marks. All 3 of them turned into specimens by their human player. Turning across to the blue side of the field, second specimen makes its way toward the high chamber. Rotated 180 degrees downward, though, means that that specimen falls to the playing field floor. Just a few moments remaining in auto.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
And a total of 5 specimens during auto for the Red Alliance means they have already broken 100 points here. To work right away here in Teleop over in the blue corner observation zone has 2, now 3 it looks like specimens coming up to be passed over to Baltic on the Blue Alliance. Their partner Steel Tigers from Joliet, they approach their net zone, far corner of the field for our audience, and 4 points go up into the low basket for Blue. Minute and a half remains in the match. Red Alliance leads 128-35. Warbots on the Red Alliance working out of the submersible. They grab a sample. We saw them focus on specimens during auto, but now they transition over to get some samples from the submersible zone. 10-4-15 collects a neutral sample, lifts it all the way up, 8 points in the high baskets on the Red Alliance net zone. Leaving some space for their alliance partner, Techno Tigers from Rolling Meadows. Techno Tigers convert a sample into a specimen. We see an interesting placement for their robot. A lot of human players place it on the field wall closest to them, but for the Red Alliance, specimens go on the side field wall. It's been passed off to Techno Tigers, who have dropped off the 6th specimen for the Red Alliance. Coming up on the final 30 seconds of the match, Red still in the lead. Blue adds their 3rd specimen to a chamber. 24-108 Baltic, they were working on specimens. Their alliance partner Steel Tigers makes contact in the ascent zone. They've got a level 2 ascent so far, supported entirely by that low rung. Last moments of the match coming up. Still only 1 robot in that ascent zone. Warbots got a final sample. Now they make contact with low rung. Warbots up off the ground if they can. It will be a 15-point boost for the Red Alliance at the conclusion of qualification match number 2. Qualification match number 7 begins in 3, 2, 1, go. Blue Alliance down run robot here in qualification match at number 7, but we do see MBRC still getting to work right away on the high basket. Nano Knights have sent a human representative for their team to pick up some RP in this match if they can. Back over on the red side of the field, Warbots work out of the observation zone, working on a 4 specimen auto for team 10, 4-15, 40 points on the board so far. It looks like a 5th specimen coming up. And that's going to be 50 points on the high chamber, plus a park, plus 2 samples high basket.
3, 2, 1.
Huge Auton for the Red Alliance with those 5 specimens and those 2 samples. Blue Alliance also put in plenty of work of their own. 3 samples high basket from NBRC 24007. 4th sample makes its way to the high basket. 8 more points for that Blue Alliance score. We see some communication between the drive coach and the drivers for the Blue Alliance. They shift their focus over to the Blue Alliance spike marks, picking up a sample from the furthest one away from their robot, navigating it back to the net zone, reaching up high once again, and picking up another 8 points for the Blue Alliance. Back over on the red side of the field, Warbots, they continue to pass off some red samples out of the submersible over to a human player. That human player converts them into specimens using those clips. They've got at least 6 or so of those specimens queued up, ready for Warbots to score. And they clean up and make tons of room on the high chamber for that Red Alliance robot. They also have their alliance partner in this match, Nitrogen, doing plenty of contributions of their own on the high basket. 8 points apiece for the 4 that they have scored so far. 40 seconds remaining in qualification match number 7. Warbots have 4 specimens available for them. They might be able to clean up all of them if they act quickly. A little bit of readjustment on their 11th specimen on the high chamber. 2 specimens remaining behind the field wall. 10-4-15 going up with what will be their 12th or 13th with 20 seconds remaining in the match. Meanwhile, the other 2 robots on the field, they have approached their ascent zones. Contact made for NBRC on the Blue Alliance. They'll be up off the ground for a level 2 ascent as long as they are clear of that bottom barrier in the final moments of qualification match number 7. Qualification match number 14 begins in 3, 2, 1, go! 11-139 for the Red Alliance Night Owls makes quick work of their first specimen, one available on the playing field wall for them. Human player makes a second and a third. Over on the blue side, tough break for the Blue Alliance. Not Nerds gets hung up on the low basket while their alliance partner Warbots adds a third specimen, looking for a fourth on that high number. 11-139 Night Owls going for their bonus specimens here, and as time expires...
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
5 specimens on the high chamber for the Blue Alliance brings their score to 104 points right as teleop begins. 10-6-30 Robunculus Chunculus for the Red Alliance out of Deerfield. They work from the observation zone, a specimen right underneath their intake. It looks into a handoff inside of their robot. Their partners Night Owls right behind them plow a sample toward the red observation zone. Human players got 2 specimens queued up behind the wall, 1 on the wall, so lots of scoring on the board for the Red Alliance in terms of potential specimens. Warbots wearing blue this match, queuing up specimens of their own right behind the field wall. They've got 5 specimens queued up, while their partner Not Nerds has begun to work on the high basket, 8 points apiece, and they have got 3 of those samples in that high basket at this time for the Blue Alliance. Warbots clean up some remaining specimens for the Blue Alliance. They've got 5 on high chamber so far, upcoming at number 6, with a nudge to the side to make it nice and easy for them to have plenty of room to score their remaining specimens. Last time we had Warbots on the field, they did score 14 specimens by the conclusion of the match. Their partners, Not Nerds, on their side, but not giving up. This team 2051 trying to get back on their drivetrain with 30 seconds remaining. We also see Night Owls making some quick work of specimens themselves, 2 more remaining in front of human player, while Robunculus cleans up samples in the net zone for 2 points apiece. 15 seconds remaining in our teleop period, 13 specimens on the high chamber for the Blue Alliance. Not Nerds just barely back on their drivetrain. Big option for them here to pick up a final set of points in the ascent zone. And time is up in qualification match number 14. Three, 2, 1, go! Robots get to work right away. First specimen lands for Warbots. First sample lands for Nyan. Other alliance partners seem to be hanging out at the moment right in front of their drive teams, cleaning up all of these samples. First up, Nyan, a specimen queued by Silly Servos for the Blue Alliance. Turning our attention back to Red Warbots on their 4th specimen high chamber, number 5, exiting the observation zone now as time counts down in auto.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
Of note in that match, we did see Nyan show off some really complicated programming in the submersible. They did make sure that their robot was able to pick up only the samples that work for them during autonomous, rejecting a red sample to make sure they only scored blue and neutral in that high basket. First few moments of teleop now underway. The Red Alliance leads 120 to 106. That's primarily because those specimens are worth more than a high basket sample. Nyan's a little bit quicker on getting them up to the high basket, but the value of a high basket sample is 8, while a high chamber specimen worth 10 points. Those values doubling as we transition from autonomous to tele. Looking at the partners on our red and blue alliances, lots of assisting and collaboration of the field. Silly Servos adding a specimen for the blue alliance. Looking at our red alliance robot, Iron Eagles staying right in the way of Nyan. Iron Eagles looks to be playing a little bit of defense in front of 10091 on behalf of the red alliance. Interestingly, in this match, we are seeing Warbots showing off what they can do on the high basket. Interesting decision for this team that we've seen focus on specimens all day. They might be a little bit quicker on the samples, rather, in the high basket instead of transitioning them off to a human player. 30 seconds remaining in the match. Blue Alliance has pulled ahead here. Nyan completely full on that high basket. And like we've seen before, they're going to start to lose a few of them. Each of those drive team members having to make a decision as to whether they try for another 8 points and take the risk of losing that sample if it falls back down to the playing field floor. Final 10 seconds of the match coming up. Precision from Nyan puts, it looks like 18 samples in that high basket, making contact on both sides of the and Warbots. Match 22 begins in 3, 2, 1, go! First move comes from the Blue Alliance. That's Deerfield's Warbots get their first high chamber specimen. A second one queued up already by their human player, possibly going for 5 if they can swing it. Next one comes up now, another 10 points on the board for 10-4-15. Third one secured in their grasp, 30 points so far. Number 4 coming up for that Blue Alliance robot. Let's see if they get all 5 during auto. That's 50 points on the board for the Blue Alliance.
Drivers, pick up your controllers. 3, 2, 1.
That's going to turn to a 100 right away for the Blue Alliance as that double count comes in during the transition from auto to teleop. Meta Infinity, they immediately get their preload specimen onto the high chamber, getting the first 10 points on the board for the Red Alliance, followed up by CogChamp. They work samples in the high basket, 15-1-18, passing off a intake sample from the spike mark into their lift mechanism. They'll be able to use those slides to push their purple basket 3D printed on their robot all the way up to that high level basket, worth 8 points if it lands inside. Back over on the blue side of the field, 10-4-15 Warbots continuing to focus on specimens. Human player has, it looks like 7 of those specimens queued up, ready to go. 10-4-15, they're going to keep as many as they can behind the glass, and then their drive team will communicate when it's time to switch from mining from the submersible to grabbing those specimens off the playing field wall from their human player. Meanwhile, their alliance partner Bionic Bulldogs work on the high basket samples. 8 points for everyone they place for the Blue Alliance with 1 minute of match play remaining in qualification match number 22. Blue Alliance leading it so far, 136-48 in favor of the Blue Alliance. We did have a little bit of a defensive move on behalf of CogChamp, hanging out between the observation zone and the high chamber, staying in the way of 10-4-15. That did slow down their scoring cycle just a little bit, but now with less than 30 seconds remaining, 10-4-15 is scoring their 11th high chamber specimen. We also see 12-9-82 moving into their ascent zone for the first time. CogChamp does lose part of their high basket slide mechanism. They're going to hang out in that net zone as we count down the final 3, 2, 1. And with the park at the end of the match, 14 specimens.